Yai da dai, yai da 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 da, ay da dai, yai da dum, ay da da, yai da da dum, yai da, yai da. Ko העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. היי yadai, yadai, ay, yadai, yadai, ay, yadai, 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 ay, yo. Boker Tov, good morning. How good it is to be together on this sunny morning. Technology is so great, but my computer mouse is not working. Well, it's working, but it won't let me drag anything, and it's driving me crazy. But other than that, this morning is a beautiful morning. It is, another day in the war, another day closer to Hanukkah, praying for miracles, another day in which we close out yesterday and start anew, fresh opportunity. This week, in this week's Parsha, we realize, we see, we learn together about the Parsha's name is Vayishlach, and Yaakov, Jacob, actually gets a new name. And so there's a wrestling that happens. And so Yaakov is about to encounter his brother. Just looking at the news, it used to be the rockets that were going off notifying me, and now the news just is telling me that Netanyahu declares we will definitely return to the fight after this ceasefire. There's no other option. And so that's, of course, what we all fear. But we know that the longer the ceasefire is, the more they ramp up all of their weapons, artillery, and strategic plans. So it all stinks overall, right? So in this week's Parsha, Jacob is about to encounter his brother Esau after many years apart. As you remember, there was a fight over the birthright blessing and who should get it, and the wrong person got it, and in the end, there was blessings for both of them. But Jacob is now returning to meet his brother, and he expects the worst. So he comes with all of these gifts because he thought to himself, I'll win him over with gifts. And the truth is, before they met, Jacob, Yaakov, was feeling very, very alone. And so in his aloneness, the divine God, whatever you call that connection, comes to wrestle with him. To wrestle with him, leaving him with a wrenched thigh and providing him a new name. And that name was Yisrael. That name was literally God wrestler. When we do the morning blessings, often we say, instead of the English, it's, who made me a Jew, we often use who made me a God wrestler. Because Judaism, in fact, is, encourages us to question and to grapple with and to understand deeper by questioning why. What is that connection? And so there's a lot of struggle, right? There's struggles in just being Jewish. I dropped Ellis off at school today, and the teacher in the next room over, who we love, said, Rabbi, I have a question. I got in a fight with my friends last night when we went to dinner. And I said, oh, That's sad. About what? She said, well, we always light the menorah inside in the kitchen, but I always have the light up bulbs in the front window, and this year I'm not doing it. And they're so mad at me because they say it's crazy that I don't do it. And so I said, clearly you're not doing it because you're not comfortable. And so no one can tell you what should be comfortable for you, right? You need to make the decisions ultimately are yours. And if you don't feel safe, you don't feel safe. She went on to say that her husband's parents were Holocaust survivors. And this idea of not taking away her Judaism, of course, she still, as she reiterated, I'm still lighting the Hanukkah 100%. We're celebrating Hanukkah. We're not, hiding in a corner, but the markings on the outside, the world doesn't need to know who I am in my house. I need to know who I am in my house with my family and celebrate in ways we did. And as children of Holocaust survivors, it's scary to show on the outside. She said, I didn't take my mezuzah down, of course, but I don't think I need to put the menorah in the window. And I said, again, this is totally your choice. And so I went on to say that, Ellis loves holiday lights. He's obsessed with it. The second it starts the darkness at 4 o'clock, people start putting up their lights for whatever holiday they celebrate. Sometimes not. Sometimes it's just businesses that have night, lights on at night. And usually they go on when it gets dark, 7, whatever time that is, and he's not out looking at them. But at 4 o'clock, and he's in the car coming home, he's seeing them and he loves them. And so while I didn't let him, as we discussed this earlier, I didn't let him have, We Stand with Israel lawn sign, because I felt, in the moments it was controversial, in the moments we have family living in this house, and I wasn't ready for that. Not to say we don't wear IDF t-shirts and Israel bracelets and ribbons and things, we do. But I didn't want to make my house a target in those moments. And so we talked about it, thought about it, and Hanukkah is very much about lights, very much about illuminating the path, and remembering that we are small, but we are mighty. And so our house will have blue and white lights on the outside, to light up this block, to light up our community, to light up our lives, and to bring some hope and realization that, yes, we are living in a dark world. And Hanukkah reminds us of the darkness that our people have dealt with year and year and year for centuries already. And so when I told her that, she felt good to know that I agree with her. Whatever your own comfort is what you need to be doing. Yes, we have to step out of our comfort zones a tiny bit. We all do. And there's growth in that. But putting ourselves where we feel compromised is not the answer either. And so in this week's reading, in this week's Torah, Judaism is talking about wrestling with the world, wrestling with God, wrestling with ourselves. Like life, one of my students once said, like, what do you mean you don't have anxiety? You're a Jew. We've had anxiety for years and years. The people want to kill us. And I laughed, and then I thought, what am I, I'm laughing, but I was more like, this kid was just so out there with this comment. But as Jews, we often don't think our lives should be easy just because they weren't easy for our ancestors and they continue to not be easy. Not that that's a good reason, but we have challenges, and sometimes challenges actually encourage growth. So wounds, when we're wounded, there is an opportunity for healing, and there's also an opportunity for us to grow as people. And so facing what is a failing, facing what is, in Jacob and Esau's case, they failed to have their relationship work straight through, but they were able to find a place to mend the wound, so that they could, they were growing as people, but when they came back together, they were able to grow more as they healed their wounds. And so we're also in this place of that comes up. It's so divine, or it's so coincidental, however you want to think about it. But it brings us Torah and time, brings us right to these moments. It's almost like it's preordained, which is kind of freaky. So this is especially true in the war in which we are in right now. And so former prime minister Golda Meir was rumored, maybe it's a rumor, maybe it's true, but the text makes sense, to have said, "We can forgive the Arabs for killing our children. We cannot forgive them for forcing us to kill their children. We can only have peace with the Arabs when they love their children more than they hate us." And so we've seen this, right? We've seen this posted, we've grappled with it, we've wrestled with it, because we're Yisrael, we're God wrestlers. We're wrestling with these ideas of war. No one wants to see people die. Trust me, in our humanistic hearts, in our deep care for other humans as Jews, we don't want people to die. But war stinks. Innocent lives are taken. If you have to fight, fight. But we don't enjoy it. Some fighting helps us grow. Certainly, this war, I think, has allowed us as a Jewish community to grow significantly. To grow, to open our hearts, to connect with each other, to find ourselves in a place where community matters, where being Jewish is maybe has always been on, your character, who I am chart, but certainly for most of us, it's moved higher on that ladder. It's moved up on that list. And so on our journey, we're going to encounter struggles. We're struggling right now in these moments. We often feel alone. And, at night is when we start scrolling through social media more than we might have during the day because we were busy. We start thinking about all the ways that we can be better as people and better as Jews and better as a world, better as humanity. And so like Jacob, like Yaakov, when we choose to confront instead of run away, to have the difficult conversations, we see that we can reconnect to whatever it is, to whatever we're wrestling with. Yisrael, God wrestlers. We're told to wrestle. We wrestle, we grapple in order to grow. For we grow because we're one human family, one heart of abundant love. We love you. We will continue to love you. We will continue to love humanity to the best of our ability. We will continue to preach and live Am Yisrael Chai, that we should live as Jews, but that people should live, that the war should find its way to whatever solution it is, to state, whatever it is, so that we can get our loved ones back, that we can be where we need to be. Linda, not broadcasting on Congregation Simchat Lev. It says here that I am on YouTube and on Facebook, but it says that we're live there. If not, I will make sure to share it to the page. Thank you. Bet and Elisa and whoever else is watching. It's always a pleasure to be in community, to learn together. We're going through the tough times. Some of us are saying we feel a little bit better. Some of us are feeling not better. We're all feeling whatever we're feeling. It feels really good when, each day we get a few more, but we want everyone home. And we know what's happening. They're using the Americans as leverage. We know that we're using time to make things worse before they can get better. But we hold on. We hold on to that hope. Od lo avda tikvatenu. May we never lose hope in our people, in our Judaism, and in each other. We love you. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 9:30. And let's continue to do the holy work together. Also, I'm going to work on a flyer right now on December 11th at 11 o'clock. December 17th at 11 o'clock. It's a Sunday. We will be at Rabbi Jay's home. We will be doing a challah making braiding experience with Nechama from, where is she from? One of those mom's birthright trips, who we have a wonderful relationship with, and congregants do as well that have gone on the trip. And so we hope that you will join us with family, without family, by yourself, whatever it is. So stay tuned for that information, and we will continue to be together as much and as often as possible. We love you. Am Yisrael Chai, 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 Am Yisrael Chai.